Dear Diary,
Here is a visual representation of my
here is a visual representation of my
emotions right now.
emotions right now.
It's a drawing of a blender,
It's a drawing of a blender,
and inside,
and inside
a black lump is
a black lump is
spinning in
spinning
circles.
in circles.
Looking back,
it
makes me sad.
It makes me sad.
I drew it when I was in
I drew it when I was
elementary school,
in elementary school,
and it's the first time
and it's first time
I can remember
I can remember
not having the words to
not having the words to
express my
express my
emotions.
emotions.
5 years later, I would
5 years later, I would find
find myself sitting cross-legged
myself sitting cross-legged
on the floor of
on the floor of
a middle school
a middle school classroom,
talking with a friend,
talking with a friend
and I didn't know very well.
I didn't know very well.
She would tell me about
She would tell me about
self-harm.
self-harm.
She would tell me where she cut
She would tell me where she cut
herself, so
herself so
her parents
her parents didn't
see. It was devastating
It was devastating
and heartbreaking,
and heartbreaking,
and I laughed because once again I didn't have the words to talk about my mental health and the mental health of the people I cared about. I'm a junior in high school
I'm a junior in high school now,
and I have watched as friends have
battled
with anxiety
with anxiety
and depression.
and depression.
I've had friends drop out of
I had friends drop out of high
school.
school.
I've had friends
attempt
suicide. It's heartbreaking
It's heartbreaking
because mental health issues
because mental health issues
are something other people have until it's the people you love. And our students are
not being
prepared for addressing these issues. In fact, my generation has some of the highest
suicide
rates
rates since World
War II.
War II.
1 in 3 students
1 in 3 students
reports persistent feelings of sadness or
hopelessness.
According to a 2019
study,
which was up 40%
which was up 40%
from 2009.
from 2009.
My generation is struggling, but we already knew that. See, it's not like we're doing nothing about these statistics. In fact, we're seeing the schools across the nation hire more school therapists. We are seeing
third-party
party organizations
their party organizations,
and state political parties
and state political parties,
introducing programs to get
introducing programs to get
free counseling sessions
free counseling sessions
for youth. We
for
are
youth. We
making changes, and
we are making changes, and
it's not enough
it's not enough
because our mental health supports
because our mental health supports
are not accessible
are not accessible
to all youth.
to all youth.
When a student wants to get
When a student wants to get
mental health aid
mental health aid
in their classroom
in their classroom
or in their school,
or in their school,
they have to leave class.
they have to leave class.
They have to make up that schoolwork
They have to make up that schoolwork
or stay after school or come before school.
or stay after school or come before school
And arrange rides
and arrange ride
with parents who might not be able
with parents who might not
to provide them
be able to provide them
if their work days don't accommodate
if the work days to accommodate
for that.
for that.
And students are expected
And students are expected
to advocate for their own mental
to advocate for their own mental health
health when they have never
when they have never
had to do so before.
had to do so before.
It's a lot to ask, and
It's a lot to ask, and
it results in students
it results in students
not getting help
not getting help
until they are actively
until they are actively
in crisis.
in crisis.
We are not taking a preventative
We are now taking a preventative
approach to our
approach to our
mental health services,
mental health services,
and it's hurting kids.
and it's hurting kids.
We need mental health integration
We need mental health integration
in the classroom.
in the classroom.
And the coolest thing is
And the coolest thing
that it's not that hard.
is that it's not that hard.
Studies show, for
Studies show, for
instance, when students can write
when students can write
essays
essays
that break down
that break down
complicated feelings
complicated feelings
or circumstances that they
or circumstances that they
may be encountering at home.
may be encountering at home.
They are able to better analyze
They're able to better analyze
and process their own thoughts,
and process their own thoughts,
which can result in healthier
which can result in healthier
emotional regulation.
emotional regulation.
In science, we can
In science, we can
be teaching about
be teaching about
neurochemistry,
neurochemistry,
the way our brains
the way our brains work.
work. Right now, we're
Right now,
keeping conversations
we are keeping conversations
about how our own minds work
about how our own minds work.
locked behind the doors of a
Look behind the doors
counselor's office.
of a counselor's office
When we could be teaching them in
when we could be teaching them in
science classes.
science classes.
We need to understand
We need to understand
how we feel the way we do
how we feel the way we do
and why our emotions work
and why our emotions work
that way.
that way.
And it can help students
And it can help
better process
students better process
and understand
and understand
complex
complex
feelings.
feelings.
This high school
This high school
And school is a
and
stressful
school is a stressful
time for kids.
time for kids.
When you're stepping into your own
When you're stepping into
and figuring
your
out
own and
who
figuring
you are,
out who you are,
that can be difficult.
that can be difficult.
And by integrating
And by integrating
education
on
mental health into the
mental health into
classroom,
the classroom,
we are providing students
we are providing
with
students
the resources they need to
with the resources they need
navigate this
to navigate
complex time.
this complex time.
But integration is the key word here.
But integration is the keyword here. Keyword here.
I've been a part of a number of
I've been a part of a number of classes
where counselors have tried
where counselors have tried
to offer this support.
to offer this support.
So they slip it in
So they slip it in
on the side.
on the side.
They take students seminar
They take students
or study
seminar,
hall periods.
study hall periods,
Times that we've been guaranteed
times that we've been guaranteed
time to connect with friends,
time to connect with friends,
work on homework,
work on homework,
catch up in classes,
catch up in classes,
and replaced it
and replaced it
with discussions about
with discussion about
mental health.
mental health.
When we set up our mental health
When we set up our mental health
resources
resources
this way, it
in this way,
becomes a punishment.
it becomes a punishment.
Students are losing time
Students are losing time
that they need to get
that they need to get
other things done.
other things done,
And it creates a
and it creates a
negative
negative
relationship
relationship
with mental health
with a mental health
that
that
they may take with them
we made that make the with them
for the rest of their lives.
for the rest of their lives.
We're making counselors
We're making counselors
sounds like some scary third party.
scary third party.
Somebody that you only
Somebody that you only
go to if you're
go to if you're
damaged.
damaged.
When we all
When we all
encounter adversity,
encounter
we all
adversity, we all
need that support.
need that support.
And it only makes sense to put
And it only makes sense
it into a regular
to put into a
classroom setting.
regular classroom setting.
I know
I know
this integration
that this integration
will make mental health
will make mental health
less taboo
less taboo
and will empower
and will
our students
empower students
to advocate for their
to advocate for
own mental health.
their own mental health.
Because
when
it's no longer
it's no longer
scary concept.
some scary concept.
When our advertisement
When our advertisements
about mental health are more
about mental health are more
than the inspirational
than the inspirational
posters in our high school
posters in our high schools
always, we are letting students know
we are letting students know
that we all struggle sometimes.
that we are struggle sometimes.
And we are making Taking those resources that we're
And we are making the resources
investing in,
that we're investing in,
school counselors in the office,
school counselors in office,
or therapy outside of
or therapy outside of
the school,
school,
more accessible.
more accessible.
This is a change that we
This is the change that we
need to
need to
benefit our students
benefit our students
and preserve a future
and preserve a future
where mental wellness
where mental wellness is
a priority.
a priority.
Thank you.
Thank you.